So in this segment, we continue as we try to look at plant transport and storage in plants, and I'm discussing the last question there. Describe the adaptive features of a leaf that helps reduce excess loss of water. Now, of course, you know, when it comes to a leaf, it has got actually, adaptive features that help to reduce excess loss of water from the plant, and those are simply called as being xeromorphic. We call them as being xeromorphic features that a plant that is going to have. In other words, they are structural characteristic that genetically it has. They are not just inherited because of where it is found. So these are called xeromorphic features. So what are some of these features that a plant has? So number one, uh, we can simply talk about the presence of a thick, waxy cuticle or cuticle in this case. So the presence of a thick wax cuticle actually helps to act as a barrier. In other words, it acts as a waterproof barrier, preventing water loss through evaporation. So it acts as a barrier. So you can simply say it acts as a barrier, making, or we can use the word, preventing water loss by evaporation. So it actually, one, it is going to be acting as a barrier in the sense that it actually acts as a waterproof material. So presence of a thick wax cuticle, helps to reduce loss of water by the process of evaporation. So it actually helps to prevent that. Then the other feature that you could have actually talked about is what we call as being sunken, stomatas. In other words, when we talk about sunken stomatas, we mean the stomata, the pores for gaseous exchange, are situated in small grooves, so to say. In other words, they are deep. If this is the surface of the leaf, the under part of the leaf, because there are more stomatas on the lower part, the stomatas are deep inside, are embedded deep inside. Now, of course, this can be trapped with moisture, or even other dust particles, thereby preventing loss of water from the plant. So this is another feature, sunken stomatas. Another feature that we can simply talk about that helps to reduce loss of water vapor, that actually helps to reduce excess loss of water, is what we can simply call as being maybe needle-shaped leaves. Yeah, so needle, shaped, leaves. Yeah, what I mean is that they are reduced, size of leaves that you have. So the size of the leaves is going to reduce, and that helps to reduce the loss of water. Why? Because there's less surface area through which gases are actually going to, or water is actually going to be lost into the atmosphere. The other part that you can simply have talked about is that sometimes the leaves can roll up when water is, limited. So when the plant has got limited water in it, or the water is actually scarce, it simply means that the leaves are able to roll up, and hence that helps to prevent or to reduce excess loss of water from the plant. Now, there are some plants that you are going to find that they are going to be having they are going to be having hairs. In this case, I'm simply talking about, maybe we can simply say leaf we can simply say leaf hairs. So there are some plants that have got leaf hairs, which we can also call as being trichomes in this case. So what do those do in this case? Well, the fine hairs on the leaf, especially the under part of the leaf surface, actually traps water vapor and lower the air movement across the stomata. Then that helps to actually maintain just a humid boundary layer of air that you're going to have. So because of the presence of a lot of hairs on the underneath of the leaf, that helps to prevent loss of water. So that's what we mean. So leaf hairs, or if you want, you could have said presence of hairs on the lower side of the leaf. So that helps to reduce again loss of water from the plant. So these are some of the features that you could have talked about, very important features that you can talk about. But of course, all in all, you need to remember what instrument or what apparatus can be used to measure the rate of transpiration. So the instrument that we use is called a potometer. So a potometer is an instrument or apparatus that we use to measure the rate of water loss in this case. So you need to remember that. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the other videos. Please leave your comment and with how the videos have actually assisted you if possible. Let's get interacting.